Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to give you my top 10 no content book niches that are easy to create, are making decent sales, one in particular selling over 8,000 books a month, and don't have a huge amount of competition. So if you're a seasoned publisher on Amazon KDP or are just starting out and looking to break into this online money-making passive income creating business, then follow along as I give you my top 10 selections. Now, you may notice a change in the background, and that's because I've just moved to Australia and I'm currently in a 14-day quarantine hotel, so bear with me for the moment. Now, if you've not been here before, then welcome to the channel. My name's Marles and I do videos on how to make it, keep it and grow it, and that's your money I'm talking about. So if you do like videos like that, then please do give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and smash that notification bell to receive notification of when I produce more videos like this. So first of all, what do I mean by no content books? Well, they are books that don't have any words or writing in them. The most common ones that most people are familiar with are those plain blank line journals and notebooks that you can buy almost everywhere. But we are not going to be looking at lined notebooks in this video. Instead, we are going to be looking at some types of books you may not have thought about that are selling pretty well on Amazon. If you're wondering how to even get started in this business, I'll leave a link to my book publishing tutorials here on YouTube down below in the description. The books I'm going to show you are selling around at least 100 a month and some a lot more, with one selling around 8,000 a month and bringing in the publisher around $2,000 a month, which I think you'll agree is pretty good. I calculate the book sales using the tool at tckpublishing.com, which I find actually underreports sales, and the higher end of the figure I give you is probably more accurate. Now, one of the issues with these types of books is that they are a lot easier to create than many of those low content books, and you can create many covers for the same type of book without issues of duplicate content. So as a result, some publishers will produce lots of these types of books and flood the market with rubbish and also sell them very cheap, which I don't recommend. I haven't come across a single successful publisher using this particular technique. I'm in a few of these niches myself, and I usually sell my books at $6.99 and they sell very well. I've mentioned in previous videos that if it's a low price, customers don't necessarily think they are getting a bargain. They just think it is cheap and poor quality, even though they are all being printed by the same company, Amazon. Most customers don't actually know that, so I'd prefer to sell a slightly lower number with a bigger profit margin, but at the end of the day, the choice is yours. So, how do I find these books? Well, I went through BookBolt, which has my favourite niche searching tool called the Cloud, which is great for looking up those best-selling books and niches. It doesn't list them all, but I use it to come up with ideas for my next books. I also looked at the interiors on Tangent templates and searched them on Amazon. And I also used my own list of niches that I've built up over the last 3 years as I've come across them. I keep them as a list on Microsoft To Do, which I recommend you do the same, as you will normally come across many different types of interesting books that are both high paying and in undersaturated markets, and you'll find these as you do your own research on Amazon. Then I came up with my list of top 10 books, which I put into a spreadsheet that are selling well and have low competition keywords. You may find that the main search term, which is the root keyword, has a lot of search results and therefore competitors on Amazon, but if you follow the principles outlined in my keyword research video, which I'll leave a link to below, then you'll find these keywords that are easier to rank for, but are still getting sales. So I'm going to list them in order of number of sales made by books listed via the KDP platform, with the lowest first, and then I'll tell you where you can get these interiors and some for free. If you want to skip straight to that or to a particular niche, then you can see them if you hover over the timeline below. All the tools and videos mentioned in this video, I'll also link to in the description below, so make sure to check those out. Okay. So for the first niche, and that's the calligraphy practice paper books. Now these are books that have sheets of paper that people can practice their calligraphy in. The best-selling book I found has a bestsellers rank of 123,897, which equates to selling around 39 to 100 a month, which is okay considering how quick you can actually create one of these books. As with all books I'm going to show you, the interiors are very basic and easy to find. Calligraphy Practice Paper has 2,000 Amazon search results, which is a little on the high side, but with research you'll find those less competitive keywords. And if you look at the cover designs, they vary, but you know, are pretty basic. Next is a dot grid notebook. Many know these as bullet point journals, but that is actually a trademarked term, so use dot grid journal instead. These are pages of lots of small dots and are used for many different purposes. I actually use these types of books myself. Now, the main search term has a more respectable 1,000 search results and so is easier to rank for on Amazon, and so your book has a better chance of being found by customers. Again, cover designs are basic, but you are in competition with these non-KDP publishers like these here. Then next up is the guitar tab notebook, used by musicians to write down lyrics, and guitar tablature, used for playing chords on the guitar. Now, search results are 1,000, which is good, and there are a variety of different cover types. The KDP book that is selling the best has a bestsellers rank of 50,771, which equates to around 90 to 180 sales per month. At number 4 is the isometric graph paper, used by engineers, mathematicians and designers. This has a very low number of Amazon search results of 436, and the bestseller on the first page has a bestsellers rank of 25,762 and selling about 160 to 330 a month. So that's a good one to look into. Many of the books have the isometric graph pattern on the front cover, which seems to be a common theme. So maybe do something different in order to stand out from the competition. Next is the sketchbook. On BookBolt, this always pops up as a #1 bestseller on their list. If I do a basic search for sketchbook, the best-selling one on the first page has a bestsellers rank of 24,342, equating to selling about 100 to 150 a month. These probably have the most basic interior of all. The pages are virtually blank, but not completely blank, as KDP won't accept that. For the basic search term, the search results are 3,000, so a bit more competitive, but I've done a video specific to this niche, which I'll link to below, and have low competition keywords listed in my Gumroad shop, again, link below. Now, number 6 is a graph paper notebook, which is one you're probably more familiar with, used by people to make normal notes, and people like engineers and mathematicians also. 2,000 search results for graph paper composition notebook, but this is a niche I'm in, and there are many more lower competition keywords if you do your research. The best-selling KDP book on this page has a rank of 13,626 and selling 290 to 570 a month. So we're really getting into the decent money mark. Now, next up is the Kanji Practice Paper Notebook, used by customers to write their Japanese writing in and practice their Japanese writing. The best-selling KDP book has a bestsellers rank of 15,934 and selling between 300 to 600 per month. And the search results are only 586, so again, a good one to look at. Many of the covers, understandably, have a Japanese theme to them. Next at 8 is the primary story journal aimed at kids. Here they write story and also draw pictures in the blank box. So pretty basic interior. You could easily create this yourself if you wanted to. Most of the covers are children themed, with things like unicorns and dinosaurs, and the search results come in at 1,000. The bestseller on this page has a rank of 8,105, selling 450 to 900 a month, which is very nice. Now at number 9, the blank comic book. Again, I've done a video on this niche, link below, and also have keywords listed for this in my Gumroad shop. This is another niche I'm in and is pretty competitive. However, there are lower competitive keywords available that still get good search numbers per month. Most of these books are published on KDP, all have a similar theme to the cover, and the bestseller ranks at 1,554, selling 1,600 to 3,200 per month. So now we're getting into the big income league here, if you like. Now, lastly is the Cursive handwriting workbook niche. Again, I've done a video on this, and the potential income is huge, with the best-selling KDP published book having a rank of 388 and selling 4,200 to 8,300 a month. That's an upward figure of about $2,000 a month at this particular price. And that's pure profit, which I think you'll agree is pretty fantastic. Now, this book is only selling at $3.99, which is pretty low. So you'll probably find there are actually others on that page selling less, but making way more as their books are priced higher. And for the main keyword, there are still only 1,000 search results, with many keywords with search results less than this, which are easier to rank for. If you want to look at this, then again, links below in the description. Now, I know some of the sales figures will trigger some people who will complain that it's impossible, markets are saturated, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. If so, take a look at other methods of making money online and publishing. I always take the view that it's a person, a human being like me and you, that has ranked their book highly in that niche, so it's not impossible. Just consider, do you think that book will be ranked number 1 in 3, 5, or maybe 10 years? The answer is probably no. Someone will come along who creates a better book, a better cover, spends more money on advertising, and why not make it you? But that's also the other thing. Some people think that advertising is bad, like this business is not real, it's a scam because you have to advertise your book. But it's called marketing, and it's how the biggest brands in the world build the biggest brands in the world. It's as though some people think that a business is a scam if it requires any investment of time, effort and money. The business is by no means a get-rich-quick scheme. For what it's worth, I didn't place an ad on a single book until about 2 years after publishing my first book, and still managed to build an income of a few $1,000s a month. So, where can you get these interiors from? Well, you could create them yourself, obtain some of them for free off BookBolt, or pay for them off Creative Fabrica or Tangent templates. Just do a search for the interior on Creative Fabrica and I'll guarantee that you'll find it. Talking of which, they are running a special spring promo deal of an all-access subscription of just $1 for the first month, but it hasn't got that long to run. And in fact, by the time you watch this video, it may have run out. So go and check that out in case it's still running. Now, when I started, many of these resources weren't available, and I created the interiors myself using Adobe Illustrator. So you can also do that, especially if you're on a tight budget and use free software like Inkscape. One of the secrets to getting your books seen by customers and therefore making sales is using the right keywords in your titles and subtitles. If you want to get started on how I do my keyword research, then watch this video next, which explains the whole process I go through. Thank you very much for your time. It's very much appreciated. And until next time, goodbye.